In a forest full of bamboo, surrounded by mountains and crystal-clear rivers, lived a panda bear named Pao. Pao was a black and white panda bear, known for his calm nature and love of bamboo. He loved spending his days eating bamboo and playing with his friends in the forest. Pao lived in a panda community in the mountains of China. Every day was an adventure, climbing trees, or just enjoying the peace and quiet of his home. The pandas in his community were very close-knit and always helped each other. One day, Pao and his friends heard an old panda talking about the golden bamboo that grew in a hidden valley.
Whoever finds the golden bamboo will bring good fortune and lots of bamboo to the whole community,
said the old panda. Amazed by the story, Pao decided to go looking for the golden bamboo.
Who wants to come with me to look for the golden bamboo?
Pao asked his friends. His best friend, May, a curious and adventurous panda, agreed to accompany him. Pao and May followed the clues given to them by the older pandas, crossing rivers, climbing hills, and walking for several days. Pao used his climbing skills and sense of smell to guide May on their adventure. After a long journey, Pao and May arrived at a hidden valley, where they found the golden bamboo. The friends could not believe how beautiful it was and how it shone, illuminating everything around it. Pao and May were thrilled by their discovery and returned to their community with a sample of the golden bamboo. The pandas welcomed them with joy and wonder. The old panda congratulated them for their bravery. Since then, the community of Pao lived forever with good fortune and without the worry of lacking food, all thanks to their friends and their great discovery.
Sam the explorer camel. In the hot, dry desert, lived a curious young camel named Sam. Sam was known for his exploratory spirit and his ability to find water in the most unexpected places. Unlike other camels who preferred to follow the known routes, Sam was always eager to discover new oases and secrets of the desert. Life in the desert was hard, but Sam enjoyed the adventures and stories he heard from the older camels. One day, while exploring an ancient cave, Sam found an old map drawn on the wall. The map seemed to indicate the location of a forgotten oasis, full of palm trees and fresh water. Excited, Sam decided to follow the map and find the lost oasis. Sam set out at dawn, following the signs on the map. He traveled for days, crossing dunes and enduring the heat of the sun. Despite the difficulties, Sam remained hopeful, remembering stories of oases full of life and freshness. On his way, Sam met a desert fox named Joseph. Joseph was clever and knew the desert well.
"Where are you going, young camel?"
asked Joseph. Sam told him about the map and his mission. Joseph, impressed by Sam's courage, decided to help him. Together they continued their journey, with Joseph guiding Sam through the most difficult places. Finally, after many days of travel, Sam and Joseph arrived at the oasis. It was a paradise in the middle of the desert, with tall palm trees and crystal-clear water. The friends could not believe how beautiful it was and how it shone, illuminating everything around it. Sam and Joseph drank the fresh water and rested under the palm trees, pleased with their discovery. Sam and Joseph returned to the other camels and shared the news of the oasis. The camels celebrated their return and Sam's bravery. Thanks to their discovery, they would have a safe place to rest and replenish their supplies on their travels. From that day on, Sam became a hero, as his exploring spirit and ability to find water saved many of his friends.
Elmer the curious elephant. In the African savanna, surrounded by friends, lived a young elephant named Elmer. Elmer was a curious elephant with a long trunk and big ears that flapped when he was excited. He was always eager to discover new things about his home and the animals that inhabited it. Elmer lived in a large herd of elephants, led by his wise and loving grandmother Matilda. She always told him stories about the savannah and the secrets it held. But there was one story that intrigued Elmer more than any other. The legend of Emerald Lake, a hidden place where the water was bright green. One day, Elmer decided that he must find Emerald Lake. With his grandmother's blessing and the company of his best friend, a little monkey named Milo, Elmer set off on an adventure.
Elmer, you have an amazing memory. Use it to remember the way back,
Matilda said. Elmer and Milo walked for days, meeting a giraffe who showed them the way through the tall grass, and a turtle who told them about the stars that would guide them at night. Finally, after a long journey, Elmer and Milo arrived at the Emerald Lake, which was hidden among large trees. The water was so clear and green that it reflected the sky and the trees around it. It was a wonderful sight. Elmer and Milo drank from the lake and rested under the shade of the trees. After enjoying the beauty of the place, they decided to return to the herd to tell them about their discovery. Using his excellent memory, Elmer remembered every step of the way back. When they arrived, they were greeted with joy and wonder. Matilda was very proud of her grandson.
Elmer, you have proven yourself to be a true explorer,
she said. From that day on, Elmer became a hero to his pack. His story became a legend that was told for generations, inspiring everyone to explore and learn about the world around them.
The Owl and the Search for the Magic Stone. In an ancient forest, where the trees were tall and the wind blew through the leaves, lived an owl named Ollie. Ollie was an owl with soft feathers and big, bright eyes. He was known in the forest for his wisdom and his ability to see things that other animals couldn't. Ollie spent his nights flying silently through the forest, hunting and observing everything that happened. During the day, he slept high up in an old oak tree where he had a perfect view of his home. The animals of the forest came to Ollie for advice, knowing that he always had a wise answer. One day, a squirrel named Suri came running to see Ollie.
Ollie, I've heard about a magic stone that grants wishes, but it's hidden in a dark and dangerous cave,
said Suri, his eyes filled with excitement and a bit of fear. Ollie, amazed, decided to help Suri find the stone.
Come on, Suri, let's find out the truth about that magic stone,
said Ollie with a smile. Ollie and Suri entered the forest, following the clues they found along the way. Ollie used his night vision to guide Suri through the darkness and his knowledge of the forest to avoid dangers. They found an old turtle named Tito, who told them about the cave and warned them about the challenges they would face. After a long journey, Ollie and Suri arrived at the cave. There, they found the magic stone, glowing with a soft, warm light. Suri, excited, made a wish from the bottom of her heart. Meanwhile, Ollie gave thanks because his wish had already been fulfilled, being able to live a great adventure with his friend. Ollie and Suri returned to the forest with the magic stone and many stories to tell. The forest animals welcomed them with great joy. Since then, Ollie shared his adventures and taught the young to seek knowledge and appreciate the true magic of friendship.
Rita the Macaw and the Mystery of the Lost Fruits. Where are all the fruits? Screamed Rita the Macaw as she fluttered frantically through the branches. The juicy mangoes and bananas that normally covered the trees had disappeared. Something terrible had happened in the jungle. Without fruits, what would the animals eat? Rita couldn't just sit there with her wings crossed. She had to solve this mystery. Determined, Rita began to fly around the jungle in search of clues. She found broken branches, footprints, and remains of peels, but no trace of the fruits. Who had taken them? While investigating near the river, Rita saw something suspicious. The monkeys were transporting baskets full of fruits to a hidden place. From above, Rita followed them carefully, making sure not to be seen. What were they up to? After following the monkeys for a long time, Rita came to a hidden cave in the mountains. From her position high up in a tree, she could see the monkeys coming and carrying the fruits.
So this is the hiding place,
thought Rita. Hiding, Rita heard the monkeys talking. They were organizing the biggest party in the jungle, but they wanted it to be just for them. The monkeys were being selfish, and that wasn't fair. All the animals in the jungle shared the food, and this time was not going to be any different. Rita flew out of her hiding place and in a firm voice told them,
"Stop now. The fruits are not just for you. Everyone in the jungle depends on them."
The monkeys were surprised to see Rita and began to apologize. Rita explained to them that the best parties were those where everyone could participate. After all, the jungle had always been a place of generosity and companionship. The monkeys, completely repentant, promised never to try to hide the fruits again. Finally, they decided to organize a big party for the whole jungle. All the animals were happy and grateful to Rita for having solved the mystery of the missing fruits. Rita, although tired, enjoyed the success of her mission and learned a valuable lesson. Friendship and sharing always win. Olivia the ostrich and the fear of being yourself. Somewhere in southern Africa lived a young ostrich named Olivia. Olivia could run faster than many animals. But Olivia had a problem. She was extremely shy. Whenever something scared her or made her nervous, Olivia would try to bury her head in the ground to avoid being seen by others. She didn't like to draw attention to herself, and she avoided making friends because she was afraid of what others might think of her. One day, the animals in the forest organized a big party for the arrival of spring. Everyone was excited, but when Olivia heard that she had been invited, she felt her heart race.
A party? That sounds scary. What if I'm wrong? What if everyone laughs at me?
Olivia decided to go just to watch, but as soon as she saw the animals gathered, fear took over her and she hid behind a tree, hoping that no one would notice her. However, from afar, an elephant named Nico watched her and calmly approached Olivia to give her advice.
"Olivia, why aren't you enjoying the party?"
With a little embarrassment, Olivia said,
"It's just that. I'm afraid of everyone looking at me. What if they don't like me? What if I make a mistake and they laugh at me?"
Nico smiled tenderly.
"You know, Olivia, we're all afraid of something sometimes. I, for example, have huge ears that have often been the butt of jokes. But I learned something. What really matters is being ourselves, because that's what makes us unique. If you don't join us, you'll never have the chance to show who you are."
Olivia thought for a moment. She had never seen Nico hide behind his big ears, or the other animals worry about what others thought. With her heart racing but determined, Olivia decided to participate in the party. First, she walked around timidly, but soon she realized something surprising. The other animals didn't look at her strangely or laugh at her. In fact, they were happy to see her join the celebration. The music started playing and Olivia, remembering her amazing running ability, was encouraged to join in on the games. The animals were amazed by Olivia's speed and grace, and they all applauded her as she joined in the fun. The ostrich, who had spent so much time hiding, finally discovered how amazing it was to just be herself. She had discovered that, although it was natural to be nervous at first, the important thing was to not let those fears control her. When the party was over, Nico said to her,
"See? There was nothing to be afraid of. When you feel like hiding, just remember that it's always better to show yourself as you are."
Olivia smiled, no longer needing to bury her head in the dirt. He knew that being brave didn't mean not being afraid, but daring to overcome it. The tale of the messenger hummingbird. In a small town surrounded by flowers of all colors, lived a hummingbird named Lina. Lina was known for her beautiful plumage, which shone like a jewel under the sunlight. Her wings beat so fast that it seemed like she was dancing among the petals, and her flight was so light that she could barely be heard. But what made Leah really special was not her beauty, but something much deeper. It was said that Leah was a messenger hummingbird, capable of carrying messages from loved ones who had passed away to their relatives on Earth. Every time a loved one died, Leah was the one who was in charge of comforting those left behind. She flew up to the sky, crossing the highest clouds, until she reached that magical place where spirits rest in peace. There she collected a message of love, hope and peace with her small beak, and returned to Earth to deliver it. One day, a little girl named Sophia was in her garden, playing among the flowers, when she saw Leah approaching. The hummingbird fluttered around her, with a special sparkle in her eyes. Sophia had recently lost her grandmother. Seeing Leah, she remembered what her mother had told her.
When a hummingbird visits you, it is a loved one coming to tell you that it is okay.
Leah gently flew into Sophia's hand, and as she landed on it, Sophia felt a warmth in her heart. She closed her eyes and silently listened to what Leah had to say. At that moment, she felt that her grandmother was with her, as if she could hear her laughter and feel her embrace. The hummingbird flapped its wings one last time and with a soft hum soared into the sky, leaving Sophia with a smile on her lips and tears in her eyes. She knew that her grandmother was at peace and would always be watching over her, now as a messenger hummingbird. From that day on, every time Sophia saw a hummingbird in her garden, she knew that she was not alone. And so Leah continued to carry messages of love and hope, reminding everyone that even though our loved ones are no longer physically with us, their love never goes away, and they always find a way to come back to us, even in the form of a beautiful little hummingbird.
Felix and the Mystery of the Enchanted Garden. In a small house with beautiful gardens lived a cat named Felix. Felix was a black cat with bright green eyes, known in the neighborhood for his curiosity and his nocturnal adventures. Felix's mother, a cat named Donna Rosa, adored him and always told him stories. Felix's favorite was about the mysterious enchanted garden that was behind his house. One night, as the full moon shone brightly in the sky, Felix decided it was time to explore the enchanted garden. Felix had heard his mother complain that some flowers had mysteriously disappeared from the garden, and this had her very worried. Determined to solve the mystery, Felix began to investigate. Suddenly, he heard a rustling coming from a dark corner of the garden. As he approached, Felix discovered a group of mice who seemed to be discussing something important.
Felix,
exclaimed a small gray mouse named Tito.
it's not us who take the flowers. It's a strange creature that appears every night.
Felix saw some small footprints on the ground that did not belong to mice. Let's follow them, suggested Felix. The mice, trusting Felix, followed him silently. The footprints led them to a hidden cave. Bravely, Felix entered the cave and found the mysterious creature. It was a hedgehog. The hedgehog, named Emmy, was collecting the flowers to make cute outfits for spring. Felix talked to Emmy and explained that the flowers were very important to Mrs. Rose. Emmy, understanding the situation, apologized and promised to return all the flowers. Mrs. Rose woke up the next day and was amazed to see that all her flowers had returned.
"How wonderful, my flowers are back,"
she said happily. From that day on, Emmy became a friend of the garden. Mrs. Rose told them stories about new adventures, and the enchanted garden flourished more than ever, thanks to this new friendship.
Lina the adventurous sheep. In a green meadow surrounded by flowers and fruit trees, lived a sheep named Lina. Lina was a fluffy white sheep, known for her curiosity and adventurous spirit. Lina loved her home in the meadow, as she spent her days grazing and playing with her friends. However, what excited her most was listening to the stories Don Ramiro told about faraway places and exciting adventures. Lina secretly wanted to explore beyond the meadow. One day, Don Ramiro told about an enchanted forest full of magical plants and extraordinary animals.
There is a special tree in the middle of the forest that shines under the full moon,
said Don Ramiro. Lina's eyes sparkled with excitement.
Let's go find that magic tree,
she told her friends, but they were too scared to accompany her. Determined, Lina set off alone into the forest. As she went, the trees grew taller and the forest darker, but Lina did not give up. Lina had an excellent memory, and she remembered every step she took so she wouldn't get lost. Along the way, she met a fox named Zeke.
"Where are you going, little sheep?"
asked Zeke.
"I'm looking for the tree that shines under the full moon,"
replied Lina. Zeke, impressed by her bravery, decided to accompany her and guide her through the forest. Finally, after a long walk, Lina and Zeke arrived at the place. There, under the light of the full moon, the magic tree shone with a soft, golden light. It was a breathtaking sight. Lina and Zeke sat under the tree, marveling at its beauty. Lina, with Zeke's help, returned to the meadow with amazing stories to tell. The flock welcomed her with joy and admiration. "You are very brave, Lina." From then on, Lina became the wisest and most adventurous sheep in the meadow, and she was always ready for new adventures and mysteries to discover with her friends.
The beautiful duckling. In a quiet pond full of life and color, a few little ducklings were born. One of them was a very special duckling. His feathers, unlike those of his brothers, were gray, which caused great astonishment in his mother. As he grew up, his brothers noticed that his feathers were different, but they did not care. Patry was a great brother, always willing to help and make them laugh. For them, the important thing was that Patry was part of their family, and they loved him just the way he was. Their mother always taught them that true beauty was not in the feathers, but in the heart.
"We are a family,"
she said,
"and in our family, everyone is equal and special in their own way."
The other animals in the pond also noticed the beauty of the duckling, not because of his feathers, but because of his big heart. They welcomed him as one of their own, amazed by his kindness and joy. The duckling showed everyone that what is important is not how one looks on the outside, but how one treats others and how one feels on the inside. One day, all the animals decided to celebrate how special their home was and the wonderful family they had formed. Patry was the center of the celebration, not for being different, but for being a great friend and an example of love and unity. That day, Patry's mother told him,
"Always remember, my little one, that we are all special, and in a family the most important thing is to be together and accept each other as we are. True beauty is not in your feathers, but in your heart. You will always be part of this family that loves you."
As the years went by, Patry fell in love and had his own children, ducklings as unique as he was, some with yellow feathers, others gray, and some little ones with plumage of both colors, as a symbol of how special and unique his family was. Patry was a great father, and he passed on to his children all the beautiful words his mother had given him, teaching them that true beauty is in their hearts.
Leo the lion and his secret strength. In the vast African savanna, there lived a young lion named Leo, known for his great bravery and a very special secret. Leo was not the biggest or strongest lion in his pride, but what he lacked in size, he made up for in his brave heart. The other lions often wondered where he got such strength in times of danger. Even though he was smaller, Leo never backed down from a challenge. But what was his secret? One day, a strong storm broke out on the savannah. The animals ran in fear for shelter, while Leo tried to guide his herd. Although the rain was beating down hard, Leo stood firm. And after everyone was safe and protected from the water, he dedicated himself to caring for the cubs who looked at him with admiration. It was then that everyone saw that the source of his secret strength did not come from his muscles, but from his heart. Leo's secret was his love for others and his desire to protect those he loved. That was the true source of his strength, something no other lion had. When the storm ended, everyone knew that true strength is not always the most visible. Sometimes, it is the heart that really makes us strong. And so, Leo became a legend of the savannah, the lion with the most powerful strength of all, love and courage. Leo guided the little ones and taught them about the importance of caring for others and staying together, even in the most difficult times. He taught them that the rain has its moments of tranquility where you can enjoy it, but that you must always respect it. As the years went by, Leo grew up and formed his own family, whom he promised to protect, raising his puppies to have a heart as strong as his. Leo became a leader that everyone respected and admired, for the great secret he kept inside. Remember, being brave does not always mean being the strongest. Sometimes, you just need the courage to take care of those you love.